Good evening, Dr. Dennis. This is Tamika Hayden, Mastering Public Administration, PA 500, here to summarize my chapter, which was Chapter 1, Process of Rationalization in Max Weber. So let's get started. Max Weber, he was born on April the 21st of 1864 in Germany. He was known as the as a social theorist of the 20th century, known as principal of architect of modern social science, along with Karl Marx and Emil Durkheim. He was father of the theory of public administration. You know, we can't talk about mastering public administration without mentioning the father to this theory of public administration, which is Max Weber. He placed public administration in a broad historical context. Now let's talk about a little bit of his background. As I mentioned, he was born in 1864 in Germany. As a child, his teachers did see him as someone with potential, but they didn't see the drive and the ambition into him. He did also suffer, because he was very sickly as a child. He suffered with meningitis. So, of course, that's a struggle for anyone to deal with. But he was still a child who had potential, even though the teacher said he didn't have the ambition. So after high school, he went on to pursue a career in college, pursuing law and economics. After 3 semesters in college, he did develop a drinking habit, which caused him to fall bad in debt. So after he fell in debt, he did have to drop out of school, and he did join the military for a year. He got his life together. He ended up getting married. He went on to become a professor. So that's just a little bit of his background from how he grew up. He's also, like I said, he's a German scholar, 19th century German sociologist and political, and one of the founders of modern sociology. He was best known for his Protestant ethic relating Protestantism to capitalism for his ideal bureaucracy process of rationalization. So let's talk about rationalization. Rationalization is the process by which society becomes more rational. Of course, if you want to do anything, you want to make sure that you make a rational decision, and you want to make sure things are done fair. So these were formal rules, regulations, policies, and procedures, focusing on the best self-interest, focusing on results, calculation, and efficiency. They were more impersonal, professionalism, and human interaction. On the jobs today, of course, a lot of times people are looking at how proficient is this person, how effective is this person. A lot of times you have productivity, you have goals that you have to reach. A lot of things are about numbers. So that was one of his main key things that he wanted to talk about. He also spoke about bureaucracy, which is a society more efficiency and fair, like a chain of command. Pretty much if you work for any large administration, or if you work for any colleges, or even in the military, you have something that's what's called like a chain of command. You're going to have your sergeants, your generals, your lieutenants, etc., etc. If you're in the administrative field, you're going to have what you may call, low-level employees, middle, upper management, hierarchy management, which is going to, give you that chain of command, where everyone has a role that's important to them, and everyone has something that they're supposed to be doing. So you have all of those policies and procedures into place. Also in colleges, you have the students, you have the deans, you have the department head, you have the president, etc., etc. So these are also things that play a factor and a role into rationalization and bureaucracy. Even here in America, we work under a bureaucracy. Even with the presidential candidate, this is how it's supposed to be ran, with the chain of command, and everything's supposed to be done decent and in order. So these are just some of the things that I've learned, particularly in this subject. The process of rationalization, more about Max Weber. I also learned a valuable lesson. Things may not always start off, the way you may feel like they should. Just like I said earlier, his teacher said that he was someone that lacked ambition. He went on to become one of the most powerful people in that time frame. A 20th century and a 19th century very person that was very important. So these things are something that we should take to heart, and that we should, realize that even though we fall, we can always pick ourselves back up. You know, unfortunately, he died at the young age of 46, you know, due to influenza. You know, he did take time off prior to that when his father unexpectedly died. You know, he fell into anxiety and a deep exhaustion, which caused him to take some time off. So a lot of things, you know, can go into play, but he was very successful with his time being here. So again, I want to thank you so much for your time with listening to my video. I hope that I have spoke about all the things that you expected from us. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for listening.